All right, bet. So look, we about to be going over a little weekly analysis. This is what I'm expecting for this upcoming week to happen. We gonna be going over gold. We gonna be going over Nasdaq. Next time I think next time I do this, I'm gonna do it live, just so like if y'all got questions. But we about to just go over this real quick. This is my weekly analysis. So on Nasdaq, right? So first off, y'all know that prices been going crazy, bro. With Trump coming back in the office, him talking, him saying all this shit. Like prices been going up, down, side to side, all over the place. But the moves have been fucking massive. Like look at this, 1,000 pip day, 1,000 pip day. Even on these smaller candles, like this for example, 400. Like you guys could catch big moves in this market, especially, and Nasdaq be paying too. Nasdaq be paying. You just gotta figure out how to get in on the wave, and so like that's why I'm here to help you out, right? So on the daily, we're not really looking too much into this stuff right now. So all of this really don't matter right now, and it look crazy anyway. Like you can't really do too much off of this level. I mean, off of these this price action based off of where we're going right now. So we really want to look at this area right here. What's the most recent things happening, right? So boom, on the daily, if you zoom in a little bit, you kind of see that we had a little point where we had to stop. We had to take a little break. So the market been pushing up all this time, and it just needed a little break. So we stopped right here at resistance, right? So what's resistance? Resistance is just the area where price continues to bank off of. So you see price can't break this level because it keeps banking off of it, right? And then down here you got a support. So price is banking off of that level, banking off of that level, banking off of that level, right? So resistance and support, all that is just two areas where price can't break from. So you got up, down, up, down, up, down, and it's not breaking this area right now. When you do get a break, so if let's say you get a candle closure, or a candle like you get like a big ass candle like this, like boom, and then that shit is green, or yeah, you get like a big old green candle like this above that resistance, then you know that price is probably gonna continue up, right? And then where would it continue up to? Well, you got these areas. Usually it'll probably just break past this area, but that's your first area of take profit. And then after that, you kind of like a little bit in no man's land. I'm not gonna lie, but like you got these areas where you could take profit. I would say I'd just be probably looking at this right here because this was your most recent. Let me take all that off. This was your most recent like area where you had a support and resistance right there. So you gotta find ways to like see the market. You gotta find ways to like put them into these little like areas that you could see. So if you get a green candle like that, right? I'm assuming that price will probably break through this level and then probably continue up to here at least before like stopping again. So what do I mean by like it's gonna stop there, right? So price moves up and price moves up and down. So if you know anything about structure, price goes like this, right? So here we had to move up, to move down, to move up. You see that little wick right there? You could count that as a move down. And then you move back up again. So now prices in this area just kind of chilling right now. So the next move that I'm expecting is for price to come up, either tap this level before pulling back to here, or we're gonna come up here and then come back down, tap either this level or this level before pushing back up, right? So that's what I'm thinking just off of the daily. So if I clear all this off and I go into the 4 hour, you're like, okay, what do you see in the 4 hour? Again, same thing. So with structure, you have price breaking this level. You made a little double bottom, first of all. And if you don't know what a double bottom is, a double bottom is just another thing of where we could find support or resistance, double tops and double bottoms. So it's low key like a sign of reversal, but it's not a guaranteed sign of reversal. So when we get this break of structure off of the double bottom, and then we pull back, but then we broke structure again, that's kind of telling you like, all right, we might be just going up now, right? So again, like I said, going with the structure, you have a high, you have a low, you have a my bad, you have a low, and then you kind of have a high here, you have a low, high, low, high, low, and now you're struggling to break this area. So that area right there is the same thing that I had on the 4-hour. So you got an area here, that's your support, or I mean resistance, and this is your support down here. So now you're like, okay, like how do I get in, right? So this is the 4-hour. Each of these candles takes 4 hours to develop, right? So I would say that you can either get in when price breaks above this level right here. So when so let me, if I could zoom in a little bit, once price breaks above these areas, you're good. You can get into buys, or you'll have to wait because I think that price is gonna pull back before we get to push up. So where is it gonna pull back to? Well, I think it's gonna pull back to this area, possibly even breaking this area just to grab some liquidity. And liquidity just means that people have their stop losses down there. So for example, if I were to take buys off of here, because you can probably take a buy right off of here and you have a good chance of winning, because this is a area where price likes to react off of. And if you don't know what I mean by that, price comes to this level and it pushes back up, comes to this level, pushes back up, comes to this level, pushes back up. That's a reaction, right? So you could take a buy down here, and then you probably would throw your stop loss either down here or like even like somewhere down here, right? So what liquidity is liquidity is just money sitting there. So let's say somebody took a trade right off of this level and they threw their stop loss right here, and then they're like targeting the highs, right? They're targeting this level right here. What price likes to do is it likes to come down, take out liquidity, and some people will call this a fake out. So it'll come down, fake you out, get people into sells, right? So people will see this break of the candle, break of this area, and they'll be like, all right, I'm selling right now. So you got people who got stop losses right down here because they're in buys. You got people who taking sells in this area because they see a break of structure, and they're throwing their stop loss right here. So now you got people buying and you got people selling in the same area, right? So what liquidity is basically price taking out all of these guys. So anybody who is buying directly off of this level without like any type of confirmation, they're buying off of this level, and the market just takes those guys out. They're taking all these stop losses, grabbing all this money that's down here. Now those people who got into sells, they're automatically still on the wrong side too, because although you can win in these little ranges, it's like the overall direction is still up right now. So price might take out all of these buys and then it'll flip right back up, take out the sellers, maybe give a little pullback and then start moving. So we don't really want to be necessarily in buys off the rip, but you can take a buy off of the rip and you guys can catch something. Like I said, these are 4-hour candles. So why not? Like if you, let's say we did break down here and break below this area, you could definitely catch a little scalp, probably get like if you get 60, 50, 70 points on Nasdaq, that's a lot of money. You could eat off of that. Even if you get like 20, you could eat off of that, right? So you don't gotta necessarily like say, oh, I'm not gonna buy it right when you or sell because we're taking a breakout. You can win off of that. Don't get me wrong, but what I want to see is this. So if I take all this off, what I'm assuming is gonna happen at the beginning of the week, on Sunday, because obviously, or Monday, obviously right now it's Saturday, so we can't really, um, the markets aren't moving. We're just analyzing based off of what we see, right? So on the hour, this is the same thing. So 4-hour, we already talked about how we have resistance up here, support up here. You could even bring this down a little bit lower, straighten that line out. So boom, now we go into the hour. It's like, okay, what do I see on the hour? Kind of the same thing. So again, you looking at structure. So right, we had structure being built. So we're in this range right now. That's all we're in. We're in a range right now, right? But this is a huge range. This is a big range. So let's say you do get into sales, you can eat up off of this. Don't get me wrong. You guys can trade in ranges. You don't have to wait necessarily for a break of a daily range or a 4-hour range, even an hourly range. Sometimes you guys can trade in those ranges. You just gotta know how to get in. And so if I'm looking at this, right, I'm like, okay, I want to get into sells or I want to get into buys. What am I gonna wait for? So me personally, I think that price is gonna do something like this. I think price might just come up and then drop back down and then come down to this level, possibly take out that liquidity and then start to push up. That's what I think is gonna happen. But if that doesn't happen, you could see price just again give you a candle like this. Boom. If we break above this area, now all of a sudden you're looking at buys because we're breaking a 4 hour range in a 4 hour daily hourly range. That's what we're in right now. So if you break that area and close with a big ass green candle like this, the next candle you're expecting to do something like this, like give you like a little, maybe a retest, push back up. It'll probably look something like this. You know what I'm saying? So with a little wick on the bottom. But if not, then I would expect price to do this. Come here and break, or just break right below here and then come down to here. Well, why do you think it might retest? All right, because if you look at the structure, right? So boom, 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 right? So looking at this, so we came up, we came down, came up, we broke. We broke, but this was a false breakout because we came back into the range, right? Now, at this point, we came back up, but we did not break this high. We failed to break this high. But after we failed to break this high, we broke this low right here. So we failed to break this high, we broke this low. So now all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well there's the possibility for sales on the smaller time frame, right? So if you want to go into here, you're waiting for a break of this area because that will be the second break. Usually the second break is what will give you the the next push if it's like a reversal or anything like that. So you'll wait for that second break of structure to take this on down, and then your first area TP would be here. But usually it'll blow past that level, and then you'll probably just come down here, or even maybe down here to these levels right here. But if it wants to pull back, then you can expect the area, a pullback into this area right here. It'll fail to break this high. You can get into sales down here, coming all the way down. First TP would be here, second here, and then third is the way down here. And that's pretty much it. If you wanna go into the 5 minute, it's all the same shit. Like you're just doing a top down analysis. What is a top down analysis? All you're doing is just breaking down the higher time frame and getting into the lower time frame. Your lower time frame is where you usually try to enter. So me personally, I like to enter on the 5. Every once in a while I might enter on the like 15. But I feel like I use the higher time frames for direction, lower time frames for entry. So if I were to enter this trade, this is on the 5 minute, I simply just be waiting for price to get up here. Price to get up in this area right here. Oh, let me change that. I'll be waiting for price to just get up in that area right there and take my sales, or like I said, wait for that break. Maybe down here, and then you going. So this right here would be, that's 50 pips on that. So if you trade gold and stuff like that, that's basically like catching 100 pips. 50 pips is the same thing as catching 100 pips on that. I mean on gold. If you're using the same like lot size, you know what I mean? So if you pop a one lot, then this is $500 on gold, but on Nasdaq it'd be 1,000 because it's 50 pips, right? So they double. So yeah, that's it for Nasdaq. So now on gold been pushing up, right? So we gonna do the same. We basically doing the same thing. Gold been pushing up, right? So what do we have? We have this right here. But as of right now, you're in a little range. What's the range? From 3,400 and like 39 all the way down to 3,227 ish. So you could call that your range, right? So now when we go into the smaller time frame, you look at the 4 hour. So right now when you look at the 4 hour, it looks bearish. It looks kind of bearish if you're looking at the most recent price structure. So you have a low, a high, a low, a high, and now you're questioning: are we going to continue down and break, or are we gonna start going back up? So on gold, you gotta kind of play a waiting game on gold. I'm not gonna lie. So on the hourly, if I were to look at this on the hourly, I'm like, okay, well, shit, price looks bearish on the hourly time frame. So I might want to play that daily range. Remember, so that daily range, you've got this as your little support area. So you got support here, you got resistance here. So if I want to play that range and I go into the hourly, I'm looking at structure like that. So if I know that price likes to bounce off of this level and bounce off of this level on the daily time frame, which will give you a stronger move, now I'm like, okay, well, what's going on 1 hour? You have structure here, so structure is being broken. Boom, boom, boom. So it's like you're questioning like what are these breaks of structure that you're talking about? So look, we have areas of support and resistance. So yeah, you had a little fake breakout here, but it did tap that daily zone, right? So you have structure here. So a support and a resistance is structure. You have support here down here, resistance down here, support, and we're just banking off of those levels. We then broke down here. That's your break of structure. So when you break and close on an area, that's a break. That's considered a break of structure. You retested that area, right? So now that's low key confirming that we could potentially go down. You get the break, you get the retest. And then once you get that second break, remember when I talked about the second break earlier, that's usually when you'll get a little bit of a move. So that second break is happening right now. So you got a little move down all the way down to here. Now you get in a retest, right? So we're still in bearish structure right now because we failed to break this high right here. We did not break this high and we're coming back down. So what do I expect price to do? I'm thinking that price will. So we got a small little support here, right? We got a little minor support here. Why is this a minor support? Because look at all these wicks. You're banking off of this level, right? So price could do a little retest and then push back down, but I'm not gonna lie. If it was me, I'm just waiting for this area to break, and then I'm expecting price to fall down to this area, and then potentially all the way down to this daily zone. So this is a 200 pip range all the way down to like 800 pips that you could catch. So how do I get in on the 5 minute? Again, you just wait. So I'm not gonna get in until I see what I want to see. Don't just hop into a trade thinking that it's gonna be all sweet and all sweet, because these ranges are freaking huge right now. So if you were to just take a sell right here and throw your stop loss up here or up here, whatever, like look how little these ranges are, but it's a lot of like money to gain or lose, right? So I would wait for price to break below this level. I wait for price to break below this level, maybe even give a retest. Even if you come up at the beginning of the session on Sunday or Monday, whatever, if you come up, you could probably take sells up in this area. Because why? Because these are areas of structure on the smaller time frame. So I know it looks kind of crazy right now, but like if you try to find like ways to put yourself into a little like where can I find the support, where can I find the resistance, you kind of see it. Like you see all these wicks right here, that's an area of support. Price isn't breaking that level, therefore you would think that price may come up to this high and then drop down again. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on gold. Like I said, I do think that gold will come down before it goes up. And if it doesn't go up, if it doesn't come down before it goes up, you're just waiting for price to break to the upside. So you probably wait for a price to break above this level, but really the real break would be above this level. So if you get a couple candles, one breaks above here, kind of probably will chill here. If this next candle breaks right here, up here, then yeah, you good to go. You pushing up to this level right here, and then maybe even getting back up to this daily range that's up here, right? So that's pretty much it for Nasdaq and gold. Like I said, next time I think I might do this live, because just so y'all can ask questions or whatever. I know I haven't been on YouTube in a long time. I've been pretty inconsistent with it, but yeah. So let me know if y'all got any questions. And yeah, I hope this helped you out for this week. Y'all go make some money if y'all listen to this analysis.